So you have created like in a really intensive process, short time proposal, but of course that we need more time to create a really robust proposal that our students will be able to develop. I'm just sharing something that we do at University of Minho in our program, Industrial Engineering and Management. In fact, this project is happening in the first year of the master at this moment. It is right now going on. Okay? I'm in the middle of the process, a little bit more of the middle. And it is a 15-week project. We have this year 60 students. We usually try to create teams of 7, but sometimes we go up to teams of 9. We have a coordination team with teachers and supervisors of the project, shared project spaces, so we have rooms of the university, and we have weekly visits to the companies. So in fact, this project is with companies, and we have students must analyze the production system and create proposals for the improvement of production systems of those companies. And in the boundaries of the project are set by the courses. So the course contents and competences that we need them to develop are in fact the way we create the boundaries of the project. As an example, they must use lean manufacturing content or business process modeling and notation specific languages. So these are things that come from the courses, and they will be applying those things to make the analysis and to make the proposals of improvement for the production system. And we have other courses of the semester that are not integrated in the project. Okay? One of the questions that we usually have, and people have doubts about this, what are the differences between problem and project-based learning? In fact, they are, I would say, two coins of the same type of approach. But usually with problem-based learning, we focus the process, the learning process, on the problem analysis. And with project-based learning, we have the problem analysis also, but we go further to the problem-solving process, creating solutions to the problem. This will be the main way of make a distinction between both approaches. And usually, or most of the times, the problem-based learning approaches are shorter in time and project-based learning are longer, but this may depend on the specific way we implement it, of course. But this is a good way, okay, by Colmos and the graph, to make a distinction between the problem-based learning and project-based learning approaches. Another question that we usually struggle with during the process as teachers is the facilitation process. How can we support the teams? You can see there a picture of myself. I was meeting with a team of students, okay, in our own year at University of Minho, and during this process, we go through different things that can happen. But I can say that creating an environment of trust and empowering the students may be our main goal during the facilitation process. We usually have to discuss the objectives, trying to make those clearer, and you cannot believe that when we say one time the objectives, that we write the objectives, okay, they are written somewhere, that is enough. We must be returning to the objectives and discuss several times during the process. Be attentive and show engagement. So ask them what they are in need of, sit by in the share, okay, with them, and try to analyze with them and really try to understand what are their problems. Don't give them the solutions, okay, but you also, or we as teachers, we also need to engage in the problem, really trying to understand it, okay, um, and use a lot of questions, okay, open and closed questions depending on the specific moment, okay, and give feedback, what they can improve, how they can do things differently. Additionally, you may have to promote communication between students because maybe they do not know them each other, okay, or maybe they have some conflicts during the process. So you may have to do this, and at some points you may need to have one-to-one meetings with some of the students if things are not going very well. Okay. So this will be more or less everything that we would like to share with you. You have some references at the end of the presentation. We will send the presentation to all participants, and we will make the video, at least these parts that we were sharing some information, we'll make this available, and hope that you have enjoyed, that you have learned something new, and we will be open to make some conversations if you want. Okay, we can stay here and talk a little bit more. I would like to know if you have some questions that you would like to put. I don't know if we have some people that are not from Portugal here now still. Great.
Rui, can I do a question?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Thank you for the session. I would like to ask, which is the main difference between project-based learning and problem-based learning? These two approaches of this pedagogical approach. I would like to, if you could explain the difference between these two of models.
In fact, I talked a little bit about that, but I will come back to what I've said. In fact, they are not, I would say, different in their main principles. Okay, they are the same. In some places, or according to some authors, they don't even use like different words. They say problem and project-based learning. Okay? Like in Aalborg, they use this kind of terminology. And usually, when we have project, we start with a problem, with an open-ended problem. That's the same for problem-based learning approaches. So, in fact, we are talking about the same type of approach. The main difference could be related to the way we organize the process. Okay, problem-based learning approaches are mainly focused on problem analysis, yeah? And project-based learning approaches have, besides or beyond problem analysis, it also have the project development, like trying to create solutions or develop solutions for the problems that students are dealing with. So that's the main difference, I would say.
We can create the prototyping of the project, like our group was an app, and the project will be create the app and try to sell that to someone, okay? And the problem-based learning, we just analyze the problem and take the process, okay? But in the project, we go to the end of the project. We create the prototype. I'm from design, and we create the prototype of the product. And we can show it to the professor or to the company and try to sell it. Okay, or to sell it, or to go to an exposition or something like that.
Another, I would say, common differences are, but they are not strict, okay? This could be happening in different ways, but in problem-based learning approach, we usually have 2 to 4 weeks of a problem-based learning approach, and then we may have another problem and go on. In project-based learning approach, usually we need more time to give time for the students to specify the problem at the beginning, understand and specify the problem, and then think about different solutions, and finally to develop those solutions or things like that. So you will have a longer process usually with project-based learning. We could also look to the history when the term problem-based learning approach, I would say that maybe it was coined by McMaster University in the medicine. And so the main things that they do, they created cases. So in problem-based learning approach, usually we have a longer definition of the problem. Okay, it is like a case, and the students analyze the case, discuss between them, try to understand what they need, what they know, what they would like to know, and they will go searching for the information with teachers or in books or different ways, and then finally they make the diagnosis of the case, for an example. That was the way it started. And in engineering schools, it started in Hamburg, early 70s, and then in that way, in those cases, in the Hamburg University and the engineering schools, they have the development of the project, creating prototypes or developing solutions, or it could be a report. Okay, it will depend on the specific problem, of course.
I have a question. It seems to be mandatory to have students from different courses, but is it mandatory?
No, it is not.
Practice?
Yeah,
Because,
thank you
for
for the
example, if I
question.
want to apply this to my courses, I only have, I was trying to explore how to use this pedagogical methodology, for example, to apply directly in my course where the students are from the same course. But it seems that you are always asking, well, which courses could be involved? Well, but okay, it is not mandatory. It is just a good practice, right? But okay.
I'm coming back to a slide. Okay. We have different typologies of project-based learning approaches, and some of the typologies we have like different courses, and we have projects inside the courses. Okay, so we could do it in this way. One of the problems that we usually come into when we are doing this is that if every courses do a project, students go mad, maybe with a lot of projects going on, different from each other. Okay? And so we may have a workload problem when we create one project for each course. But of course, we can do this. Okay? So when different courses start developing projects inside their courses, then usually we tend to develop interdisciplinary projects, trying to engage different courses and teachers in the process. So that will be usually what happened. In our case at the University of Minho, we started by trying to do this. Okay? We always try to integrate different courses, or almost always. Okay, it's not completely true. It depends on the program, but at least at the Industrial Engineering Management, we try to do this. But of course, it's harder because you have to talk with other teachers. You have to align objectives with other teachers. And it has some difficulties, additional difficulties.
Okay. So do you know the Daimler Global that was involved? Do you know the Daimler Global program? No. Okay. It was a program.
Yes,
I've read something about that sometime, but I don't remember right now.
Oh, but okay. Now I see. Well, probably it is a program that was based in problem-based learning, and For sure, it was okay. The different students from different courses from different schools. Well, okay, for sure was the more the where we were where we have the more diversity with respect to the backgrounds of the students. Well, it was a very interesting experience. Okay.
Okay, so sometimes we have like experiences like that, but we have students coming from different programs, even not they are not from the same program. Okay, so they have really different backgrounds, and that is great when we are able to do that, of course. Okay.
Thank you.
More questions?